Hi, and welcome to a special edition of the Virtual Book Festival held in March 26th of 2020. This is produced by Book Festival Network, a division of Dear Texas and Dear Indie. This show is sponsored by Authors Marketing Guild. We're a membership-owned company that helps authors learn how to market and sell themselves. Also by IndieLector.store, the only bookstore that offers up to 80% of its sales to authors directly. And produced by Dear Indie and Dear Texas, where we drop everything and read both Texas and indie authors. This episode introduces Wren Richards to our audience. Minutes and have fun.
Thank you very much. And I want to thank you for this opportunity also of being able to tell people about our books. And everyone who's watching, thank you. It's late at night, so I'm just assuming that you guys are very avid readers and are here because you're interested in books. I would love to tell you about my book. I have actually, it's one of a trilogy. It is a trilogy. The first book that was published was called Natural Law. I don't know, can you see it? And at the time this book was written with the publisher, I had just been out of the witness protection program when I was in Costa Rica. And the publisher would not publish the book with my own name. And that's why whenever I go anywhere, even like tonight, I have to tell you that my name is Wren Richards. I know many people know me by a different name, but that's what I go by. And I want to first start out on a light note, telling you the successes of the Natural Law book. One of the very first things I think that is very most successful with this book is that the night that I went into the witness protection program, I actually had called my son and showed him the documents when I was living in Costa Rica. And I put my hand up over the name so that I wouldn't be revealing anything that was supposed to be considered top secret. And he told me, Mom, you can tell me these things are going on. He said, but I think that you're just nervous about being in a strange country, and I never will believe that you are. But one of the nicest things is when I finally got back to the States, he had a book signing for me at his house. And he introduced me and he said to his guests, I want you to know that all of these things in my mother's book is true. And I just could not believe the difference and how that cemented our relationship back again. Another wonderful thing about this book is that I was invited to the author's reception in New York to advertise and to sell my book. Also, the publisher had sent me to Los Angeles, Hollywood, and I pitched this book in front of 7 different industries for movies, and I have had a response on 2 of them. And I very much would like, of course, this to come to fruition, but maybe it wouldn't for years to come. And the last thing is that the book touches a little bit about the main character, which is my story, but the main character is called Wren Richards, son Wren Richards in the book. And so that's why I use that name for my author's name. It's just because it was the character of the book. And when the book talks a little bit and touches a little bit of how I managed to stay grounded and get through the 5 years that the book covers down there being in the witness protection program, was that I mentioned that I meditated with transcendental meditation, and it does touch on that a little bit. There have been people who have read my book and have started to learn transcendental meditation because of the book. And for that, I am very grateful also that the book also is having an impact. The other thing, of course, the book signings that I've gone to has helped me in recovery from this terror and from the fear of undergoing when I was living in Costa Rica. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the book. The Natural Law is one book of a trilogy, which I've already told you, and it is a fiction thriller based on true events about crime, property scams, espionage, and the witness protection program that the character's son, Wren Richards, endured for 2 years while living in Costa Rica. Natural Law serves as a warning, like the movie, if any of you have seen it, The Circle. It is a psychological thriller that shines a light on the true value of privacy and civil liberties, woman's image, and Americanism. It explains these concepts through the love of nature and natural law. The protagonist, which was me, receives justice not through man's law, but through natural law. This book, Natural Law, is 387 pages of literary suspense and fiction relating the struggles between nature and technology. It's the struggle between man's law and the natural law. The character of Wren Richards personifies nature, natural law, and the environment. Ideology collides with son when the son, Wren Richards, meets Angelo, and they become attracting magnets. Son Wren Richards spends nights in total blackness and survives by the use of her 5 senses, transcendental meditation, natural law, and the help of Angelo Orlando Andres Lopez. And he's the man who rents a hotel suite and reveals his identity as a U.S. operative. He learns that Sun has been caught up in a large property scam concerning foreigners and places her into the witness protection program. Sun's fears turns to terror when she suspects that her property is being used as part of the United States communication infiltration operation. She experiences how American agents receive immunity from committed crimes, protecting their identity, accountability, and their agencies. I guess I could tell you a little bit about myself, the author. Oh wait, before I do that, guys, the second book that I have is called NSA Unzipped and Exposed. And this one tells about the operative who solved the case in Costa Rica. The political thriller, which is a novel, and it fictionalizes the true story of crime, danger, and the blurred lines between right and wrong. The story is based on true events and it follows Costa Rican teenager Angela Lopez as he is groomed into an NSA covert operative, and he sets out on a 35-year journey and career to fulfill his dangerous missions that test his morals and fortitude. Lopez finds himself exposed to criminals, drug lords, property scams, and incredible dangers which weigh on his psychological as the lines between right and wrong are greatly blurred. The adventures are filled with suspense, the NSA Unzipped and Exposed shines a light on the erosion of the rights of privacy, ethics, and the morals Americans face while working and living in Costa Rica. The third book that I have will be coming out soon. I'm hoping. They've been delayed, of course, because of the virus also, but I'm thinking at the end of May. The third book is called Wren's Story, and that tells about, again, it's fiction based on true events. I was born and raised and grew up in Wyoming, on the Wind River Indian Reservation in Wyoming. And the book tells about the culture, it tells about the hardships, it tells about the difficulty of the ethnic people living and trying to adjust to a society that now is 300 or 400 years past the time when they were put onto the reservation. I think I've told you a little bit about all three of the books. If you have any questions at this time, I'll be glad to answer them. Or I can go back and tell you some more about the natural law book. Getting into Costa Rica, I went down first just to have a vacation, because Costa Rica is an absolutely beautiful country of itself. And I went there for 6 weeks and fell in love with the climate, the people, and the beauty of Costa Rica. And after I was there for the 6 weeks, I decided that I wanted to buy property. So I bought a hotel, and the hotel was a large colonial house that I renovated into a small hotel with 8 bedrooms and 8 bathrooms. And when it was finished, the operative, I didn't realize he was from the United States, but he was Costa Rican by birth. And they rented a suite out of the hotel, and they became, they worked on the case. The case, my hotel was only one hotel that was in the middle of property scams of 210 foreigners that were down there. And so they came, and he solved the case. And the second book, NSA Unzipped and Exposed, tells about how he actually solved the case. The first book is mostly about living in Costa Rica and the fear that I underwent, Wren Richards underwent when they were living in Costa Rica because of the property scam. And I finally fled to Galveston, Texas, where I live now, and have been able to walk on the beach, enjoy the freedom of not being spied on and watched and looked after, and have finally found that I think I've finally gotten back to some normalcy.
Wren, for the books that you have, the last one that's coming out, do you have plans to write anything else?
I am so sorry. What did you say, Ellen?
You have one more book in ready to come out. After that, do you have plans to do any other books?
Right now, Ellen, I do not. I have the 3, and I kind of would like to wait and see how they do. My true goal, my true ambition, of course, is that I would love to have any of these 3 books picked up by a stream, a movie, television, because now I understand that there's needing material so much more even than when they have it just for regular theaters. And so I'm hoping that my books will be used and wanted to fill that gap. I hope they will. I had very good response when I was in LA, pitching my books to the movies. I don't know whether that'll happen or not. Sometimes they'll sit on for a long, long time before they decide to use them.
Okay. And we are just about done with your time. Where can people find your books?
Thank you. They can. Barnes and Noble. Well, of course, the very first one you want to try is on Indie Lecture, and I have my books there. You can order them directly from there. Barnes and Noble. You can get the books from there or from Amazon or for me directly too. I do have a website. It's wrenrichards.com. Author.
And do you have social media?
I'm sorry.
You have social media?
You guys, I absolutely have stayed away. I was told to stay off of Facebook and all of that kind of thing. But now that time has passed, I'm finally beginning to venture out. Tonight is the first time that I have become very public, and that is with you in your Indie Lecture.
Great. Well, we are at the end of the episode. I thank you very much for your time, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Authors Marketing Guild is a membership-owned organization designed to help authors succeed and learn how to better market and sell themselves and their books. Join us at authorsmarketingguild.com and receive so many benefits you'll wonder why you didn't join sooner. That's authorsmarketingguild.com.
Welcome to IndieLector.store, an online bookstore where the discriminating reader can find award-winning books. IndieLector.store is not a big corporation, so we can give up to 80% of the sales directly to the author. Help us support them by buying a great book at IndieLector.store. The 5th Annual Authors Marketing Event. 2 days of live seminars in marketing for authors. The only organization that certifies authors in marketing. Live and free to the first 100 authors registered. Sponsored by Bubblish, empowering entrepreneurs, and Indie Lector Store, paying authors for their fair share. Head to www.2020.authorsmarketingguild.com today.